And ladies and gentlemen, we begin to wrap up my marathon review session. This is the last film in this grouping that I'm doing. And it's a film that is a combination of Danish Film Institute and the Swedish Film Institute. Interesting combination. Cinematic class is about to begin. Your professor is in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last of the marathon session. The last time you'll see Spidey for a while, anyway, depending on how I post these things. Today's lesson plan is called Exit Plan, and as I stated in the teaser, it is a combination of Danish and Swedish film institutes that have put this thing together. You know, I got to tell you, I almost didn't make it through this movie. All right. But I'm glad I stuck it out. Okay. There's a twist at the end of this that kind of sort of made it all worthwhile. Let me tell you what we're talking about here. And I apologize for this. I've told you that when it comes to the Teutonic names, I butcher these things drastically, but I'll give it a shot. Our main protagonist in this movie is Max, and Max is played by Nikolai Coster-Waldau. Okay, he does a nice job playing Max. Max has got himself a problem. Okay, the movie opens up with his birthday, and his family has come in, and they have a little birthday breakfast for him and a cake, and they're celebrating his birthday. And you think everything's nice. Max doesn't look like he's really enjoying himself. And it's not too long before we find out Max has got himself a brain tumor. Okay, what makes this ironic is Max works for an insurance company, and his job basically is to go through people's files and find a way that the insurance company does not have to pay the death benefit out on its policies. He finds himself with a shoe, if you will, on the other foot. Now, Max's wife is very much in love with him and would move heaven and earth for him. A problem is Max isn't telling her what's going on. She is Larke, and she is played by Tina Novotny. And when Max finds out on his birthday, no less, that the tumor inside his brain it has not shrunk due to medications, but in fact has gotten larger and it is inoperable. He knows that he has a small amount of time to live. So, through dealing with some of his clients, he becomes aware of this place, which is basically euthanasia, okay? Assisted dying. You go there, they facilitate your demise and try to keep things as easy as possible for your family. This way, your family does not have to go through the trials and tribulations of seeing you suffer for God knows how long, and basically having to take care of you every day while you wilt away into nothing. Okay, we've all seen movies like this. There have been a veritable plethora of them, and they cover all ages, from the young ones, Meet Lars and the Dying Girl and all that kind of stuff, to the older people like The Bucket List and all that. So every age group has at least one movie that they can identify and go through this type of thing. And basically what they want to push is the idea of euthanasia. Once you get to the point where gee whiz, you're dying. There's no hope. There's no medical hope. There's nothing we can do. The science fiction reality of cryogenics is not quite where it needs to be yet. So that's not an option. So, it's probably better if we just put you to sleep and you save everyone on aggravation. This is a slippery slope, my friend, because when the movies start implanting that seed into your mentality, it's just a short hop, skip, and jump to where, you know what? He's a little too old. We should get rid of him now. Yeah. Be very careful. So Max goes to one of these places, the Aurora. He decides to go there and end his life quickly, quietly, and not have to worry, be a burden to his family. Naturally, while he is there, he encounters some people who are in a similar boat with him. He meets Ari, who is played by Robert Arameo, and he meets Karen, who becomes a very good friend of his there, and she is played by boy, this is a big one. Solbjerg Hayfeld. I hope I said that right. Okay, so there you go. And at this point, I got to tell you, I'd seen so many of these movies. They generally are a little bit depressing. All right. And I said, yeah, do I want to sit all the way through this again? Because I can kind of sort of see where it's going. Aha! No, I didn't. They threw a twist at the end of this that made it worthwhile. And it's one of the reasons why I'll tell you to stay with this until the end. Writer Rasmus Birch has thrown in a bit of, I don't know if you'd call it quite science fiction, but certainly something very macabre at the end of this whole thing. And director Jonas Alexander Arbney, one of the dreaded three name people. See, they even have them over in the Finnish countries or what have you. The Scandinavian countries, I should have said. They have put together a nice little twist on the ending to this that that really makes it worthwhile. Now, it's not quite as ta-da, if you will, as Soylent Green, but it's awfully damn close. So you may sit down and watch this movie and wonder to yourself, geez, are they trying to be socially conscious in this film, or are they just being depressing? Well, I found the spin at the end certainly provided a different perspective and changed the whole genre of the movie up to that point. I think it made it worth watching. I think you might too. It's a little bit of a different. I did not see this one coming. And do you remember back when there was a story about the Japanese were I guess they're short on real estate over there, and typical funerals aren't. So they're recommending cremation. And then what they did was they came out with a system where when the people were cremated, they would take the ashes and under hard pressure, they would turn these remains of people into things, into uh, decorations for your mantle, or ashtrays, or rings, or jewelry, or something, so that you could wear your loved one around. That's a true story, and that's bizarre. This movie may not be quite as bizarre as that, but there's enough of a twist at the end there that'll kind of rattle your bones and say, okay, this wasn't just a regular euthanasia story, and therein lies the viewability for Exit Plan. Now that you have learned what you have learned, you're end of your lesson.